still is entrenched in all of that now that Bill Belichick is with UNC and Tom Brady is with the Raiders. We'll have to check on his Patriot fandom as he also ridicules one of his show co-hosts for her Packers fandom. A lot of fandom talk today. We got to get some rules established here, and I'm going to also lean on y'all, the fans of Theoretically Speaking, to help us guide not just Michelle Smallman, but other people in the right way here, because fandom is a thing that is taken serious in sports, and there seems to be some line stepping going on. On the other side of the glass is Christian Cat, C-Cat on the ones and twos here on a Wednesday. You're a Penn State fan, so you're very happy today.
One more sleep.
Happy Valley.
One more sleep.
Yeah.
Until my life has changed forever.
Or you don't even have to
worse.
sleep. Or you don't have to sleep.
I am going out tonight because the fellows are flying into PBI after we get off the air today at 6 o'clock after Russo and Rizzo, and then we're hitting the town.
Just skip that show.
If you see me in a Penn State hat, white hat, come on over and buy me a drink.
What time are your buddies touching down?
6:50. We're going to hit the town, and then my other friend lands at 10:50. So he'll see the before, and then the after is what my buddy who flies in later will see.
Okay, so are you planning because y'all are kind of recently fresh out of college. You're what? You're in your mid-20s, so you're probably planning the pickup from the airport and go straight to the bars, or you're at least going to do the whole grown folk thing of, all right, let me go home, let me settle in, let me get dressed, let me take a shower, all of that. Are y'all still in that rugged age where you just go from A to B?
I think the novelty and the spontaneity of going airport to bar.
Uh-oh.
That's a big word for Almo.
Yeah.
Spontaneity.
There you go.
We're going to go airport to right back here at work where we have a nice parking spot close enough to downtown where that's what we're going to do.
Get into the action, man. I'm happy for you guys. I'm happy that Penn State and Notre Dame are going to be, big showdown tomorrow at the Orange Bowl. And speaking of the Capital One Orange Bowl, not only going to be hosting the college football 12-team playoff semifinal between Notre Dame and Penn State, they also are being graced with the presence of, Theoretically Speaking, from 2 to 4 from Hard Rock Stadium tomorrow. That's right. We're taking the show on the road again. And C-Cat, because you're a Penn State fan, I'm sure you'll have some gear on. I'm sure your buddies are going to pull up on this as well. Just try to stay focused, stay locked in through the shows. The game doesn't kick off until when? Like 7:30?
7:30 kick.
Yeah. So once 6:01 hits, that's when you can start the drinking. That's when you can start the kicking it, but be a professional.
You see, we're kind of the middleman between the fan and the journalist here in Sports Talk Radio. So I am wondering, especially since we're not in State College, Pennsylvania, or we're not in South Bend, Indiana, how much Penn State regalia do I wear?
Yeah.
Because I still want to be, welcomed with open arms in the press box, but I also want to represent. This is a big deal for a Penn State alum such as myself.
You can't. So here's the rules with that. And I've had a lot of experience with this because of my media days in press boxes and working as media at some of these big games and whatnot. What?
No, I got something to say after this.
That wasn't a flex?
It's not. No.
Okay, just making sure. I thought you were trying to
It just reminded me of something else we'll get to.
Okay, so we'll get to that then. You can make that point. What I'll say is this. You are allowed to wear Penn State gear into the press box. That's fine, right? But the Penn State gear you wear into the press box can't be like a jersey or like a big T-shirt or something. It's got to be like a Penn State polo or just a Penn State hat to go along with the rest of your gear. You have to keep it somewhat modest and somewhat not partial and partial, but you have to keep it like a little bit G. You got to keep it a little professional. Yeah. And I'll say this much too. Do not cheer or root loudly, at least in the press box. You have to contain yourself. So if you want to cheer, root, and do whatever, kick it around Hard Rock Stadium. Don't bring that noise up to the press box.
So you are exactly right with the don't cheer in the press box, but I think your message of don't cheer in the press box should be directed to someone else who's on the air at ESPN 106.3, who happens to be on the air between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m.
Let me guess
on
which
ESPN
one.
106.3.
Let me guess which one. I know which one it isn't because Colin Russo's teams probably don't play in high level or high leverage enough games for him to even care to go and visit them. He's a fan of the Jaguars and the Athletics and the Hornets. I guarantee you he's never been to any one of those games in his life. So it's got to be Mike Rizzo, who grew up in Cleveland and roots for all their Ohio teams, right?
So that's your guess, and you'd be wrong.
What?
Colin Russo, last night at the grand opening of TGL, we're sitting in 2 rows of media seating between holes 6 and 10.
What?
was booing Shane Lowry in the tee box. He booed from the press box.
From the media center at SoFi Center.
Not from the media center, or from the seats that were given to the media. We had 2 rows, and he was getting rowdy because we were sitting right on top of, like below us, were fans. Yeah. And then it was row 1 of media, row 2 of media.
Okay.
So the guy below us had the towel, was waving the hammer towel, saying, throw the hammer, throw the hammer. He was getting crazy, but that wasn't like a media guy.
Yeah.
Colin was sitting right in front of him, so he kind of got energized to do just that as well.
I am so disappointed.
I was sitting there dressed just like him in the red ESPN West Palm polo, trying to separate myself.
Okay, so TGL teed off last night in Palm Beach Gardens here in National League. I hope everybody was able to watch it on ESPN, watch the broadcast. By the way, if you did, I would love to hear some fans' thoughts. We're going to talk about what Colin did because I think is reprehensible. But I would like to first get our fans' thoughts on what TGL was. So hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline an early call to the Baptist Health Hotline. What were your thoughts of the very first TGL? New York versus the Bay. It was a blowout. So that didn't help.
It was over before you knew it.
Yeah, it was a blowout.
I thought it was a mistake when all of a sudden the graphic read, Bay Area wins. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
The whole? No, the match.
Yeah.
It was over.
It was crazy. I didn't like that part of it, but everything else about it was elevated and nice. If you watched TGL last night or if you were in the house from SoFi Center in Palm Beach Gardens, give us your first thoughts on TGL here on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. We're coming to this early, but it's topical because Colin Russo committed a cardinal sin of media. So I want to hear your thoughts on it before I, drop the hammer in TGL terms on Colin Russo.
Listen, you're the old head. You got to keep everybody accountable.
I absolutely do, and I didn't know I was going to have this conversation with him. I really thought it was Mike I would have to, rail in. And also, come on, dude. That's the first TGL event, and we're going to get our credentials revoked. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. First thoughts on TGL. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. First thoughts on TGL. I thought, first of all, immediately, being at SoFi Center, it's an amazing experience to see in person. I thought the broadcast looked great. I also wish it was just a little bit more competitive. I want to see how the personalities grow within TGL, like who's going to be the characters that we hang on to, who's going to be clippable that we're going to play the next day because they said or did something extremely funny. We didn't get a lot of that out of the debut, but, we got the debut. It was cool to see.
That's the question I asked at the post-game presser. I said, hey, I know you haven't seen Full Swing on Netflix, but that's what that show did. It allowed so much access into these tour professionals' lives to where you actually knew who you're watching on TV every weekend, and you get into golf because you're invested in those individuals. I think TGL is the next step of that, where now we know how these guys are talking on the course, how much crap they talk, how funny they are, their actual quips in and out of each hole. So I think we will have stars born, not just because of their quality of play, like we saw from Ludwig Oberg, but also just the funny dudes.
That's the question. Are there any funny dudes in golf?
There's a lot of funny dudes.
I think the bar's low.
No, you would be surprised.
I think the bar's low.
Golf is such a social sport that you got to be funny.
All right.
Well, no, sorry. You learn to be funny by playing golf oftentimes.
Again, we're going to find out who stands out. Like, if there are any characters, if there are any people that are magnetic, we're going to see it. We're going to find out firsthand because it's a team environment and it's also a competitive and intimate environment. I put a challenge out there to the TGL golfers. It's not about the setup, the operation, or anything. I put a challenge out there to the professionals that are out there doing it and swinging the sticks. Show me something. Pop off the page. Give me something to care about, to like, to hate, be funny, make me laugh. Do something. This is your chance.
And next week, we're going to see a lot about every individual that's in SoFi Center because it's a Tiger match. The Jupiter Lynx play next week against L.A.
That's my team, too.
Is someone going to chirp Tiger?
You have to. You have to.
If there's one person that you have second thoughts to chirp, it would be Tiger Woods because everyone in that arena looks up to him as a golfer.
But it helps that you're not on the actual golf terrain, right? You're actually at TGL, not on the PGA Tour at a Master or like on a. So it helps that it's a different environment. But also, when you are Tiger and you are that much more elevated than everybody else, there's a target on your back as well. They can't wait to chirp Tiger. This is the one environment in which it's probably okay because he's also literally invested financially into the success of TGL. He's not going to kill you for that.
And you know what? It's punching up. It's not like someone who's really good, like talking about this new up-and-coming golfer and like kind of putting him down. And it's kind of awkward because it's from one multi-time major winner to one guy who's on the Korn Ferry Tour. No, everything you chirp at Tiger Woods, he always has the trump card. Well, I'm better than you are and ever will be, and what I've done will eclipse anything you've ever will do.
Yeah.
But he's also got so much material to make fun of Tiger Woods about. How far will they go?
Oh, there's no way. They're not. Nah. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, they won't see the next.
No one's
going
to say the word Perkins. No one's going to say Perkins, like the restaurant.
You can't. They will not see the next Thanksgiving if they make any mentions of things that happened around Thanksgiving for Tiger Woods. I think that will be off the table. But everything else is on the table. Speaking of, I got to get back to our guy Colin Russo.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, how did the media around him interact with the fact that he was heckling like a fan from the media seats? Did anybody give y'all a weird eye? Did you notice anything?
I blacked out because the person directly to my right, Colin was on my left. There was a young lady to my right that had a camera and was taking pictures. So she was clearly working. She was what they call the working media.
And y'all were the parlaying media. Y'all were the guys that everybody hates. Sit in front of media seats, not doing any work. At that point, you did your show earlier. You got your work done. I'm not criticizing it, but y'all were just watching at that point.
I was doing some stuff, actually. I was posting videos on ESPN West Palm Play. And I don't mean to – Colin was doing work, too. Just in between the work was play, and the play was loud, and it made me uncomfortable. I blacked out. I had a laser focus into – because we were dressed the same, too.
I know. So y'all were a team at that point.
Yes. We both had the same ESPN West Palm polo. And Colin was getting rowdy.
Was he the only one that got rowdy from the media?
Yes.
Golly. I'll have to make a call over to our guys at the TGL. Hopefully this doesn't, disbar us.
They also probably want that.
They do.
I think the TGL would have liked the media to act as if they are the fans in those seats. Because it's not like they were in a press box that's off and separated. No, you were kind of sitting amongst the fans in a way.
Yeah.
But the fellow media.
Fellow media looks at y'all as amateurs because y'all are also younger, I'm assuming, as opposed to a lot of the other media that was there.
Because it's other media that are local media, which ranges older.
Yeah.
But it's also
national media.
National golf media.
National golf media
which ranges
old
really old.
That is, if you want to talk about the old boys club.
And curmudgeons.
Yes. Especially the print ones. No shade to y'all. If y'all are still in town and tapping into Theoretically Speaking, we appreciate you.
But the guy that was booing and cheering in the press seating, it wasn't us.
It wasn't.
No, it was someone else that's on ESPN.
It's just a different voice. So if you're looking at a person to point blame at, call in 888-760-3776 at 4 o'clock. That's when Russo and Rizzo starts. That knucklehead was the one.
He also got seconds in the pizza line. Because it would make sense if you got one slice on your plate. Okay, you get 2 slices. That makes sense. You got 3 slices and then 2 more slices.
This guy's embarrassing. This guy has no decorum. What the hell is going on? This guy is embarrassing us on Front Street, and you let it happen. We shouldn't have let the first 2 representatives from ESPN West Palm at TGL, Tomorrow Golf League, be Christian Cat and Colin Russo.
The enabler and the aggressor.
Yes, because you let it happen.
What should I do? Grab him by the scruff of his neck and then give him a talking outside? You know when your parents do that, and then you walk in, you're stuffling your tears.
Yeah. You grab him. No, you know where you grab him? Right there on the bicep. You grab him by the bicep and you just pull him. A slight little jerk. That's okay. That's okay.
I think he's in a work meeting right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's hearing
this.
Right,
he's not. He's not hearing it because I know he would have. He barges in here like the Kool-Aid man like once every 2 weeks when we're not talking about him. I know he would have barged in here if he heard his name. So Colin Russo, we'll deal with you later. I need to deal with a team and organization that has even less decorum than my fellow show host here on ESPN 106.3. They used to be a proud franchise. They provided so many winning seasons, so much content. There's documentaries about them at this point. In fact, they even had a moniker, the Patriot Way. Oh, that just sounds so sweet. And also, guess what? It lines up with where their stadium at, One Patriot Way. It is perfectly built to talk about a franchise and organization that has a culture, that has a methodology about it, and also that is careful in making decisions and makes winning moves and winning plays year in and year out. The Patriot Way. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Top down. We respected this organization. But I have to tell you, man, over the last couple of weeks, everything I've seen come out of One Patriot Way has been absolutely horrendous. Is this the Patriots or is it the Jaguars? Are these the Pats, the great Pats that over the past 25 years have reigned over the NFL, have been the model franchise? Is it that organization, or is it closer to the same team that got caught in multiple cheating scandals, whose owner had a situation out here in Palm Beach County that saw a lot of people get arrested because of it, out there in Jupiter, kicking it a little too much? Is it that? Is the absence of Bill Belichick and Tom Brady now showing the true colors of what the Patriots are? And I base a lot of this around how they've handled year one of the Gerard Mayo experience. C-Cat, there is not a definitive reasoning behind why Mayo, who led the Patriots to a 4-13 record, would have lost his job after year one. Gerard Mayo had no control over the players in that locker room. Not to say he didn't have control over his team as a leader and as a person that drives culture, but no, he didn't control who was being put into the locker room in Patriot jerseys. He didn't draft that team. He didn't go out in free agency and sign those players. He didn't go out and gather up that group that looked like the worst roster in football this last year. No, he coached them. And he coached them to 4 wins, which was about spot on with the expectations of what the Patriots could do in year one with a rookie quarterback and a veteran journeyman in Jacoby Brissett. In fact, they won a couple games you would have thought they would have lost by double digits. They beat the Bengals in week 1. They beat the Bills in week 18. It's commendable. And Josh Allen started that game, by the way. It's going to go down in the history books as Josh Allen losing a game against the Patriots because he wanted that start.
That's a QB record.
Yeah, that's QB record stuff right there.
That's selfless, though. Sacrificing a ding to his QB
spin.
record.
Look at the Josh Allen spin.
In order to get the individual award. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. Back to the Patriots. I'm sick of the Josh Allen propaganda machine. I think C-Cat just has a little buy-in. They're paying him like $5 a week just to keep on professing the good name of Josh Allen. So I'm not going to undercut my guy on the money he's making under the table. But I will say the Patriots have lost their way, and the Patriot way feels dead. And the very example of that is not just the firing of Gerard Mayo, the swiftness in which Robert Kraft made that decision following the Week 18 win over the Bills, the lack of consistency from top down. It is obvious to me that this organization wanted to lose and wanted to have the highest pick in the draft. And because Gerard Mayo went against their will and coached that team to a win, he would have been criticized no matter what happened. They lose that game, he gets criticized for it. And the media out there in Boston, which has been entrenched in bias and racism, I will say that, has been entrenched in racism for decades upon decades upon decades. It's part of your history. Still lingers in your present. It's a little better than it used to be. But no, Boston media, you know who you are. So he was going to be criticized no matter what. I thought the Patriots organization had more consistency from the top down, had more patience, and was able to use a more level-headed thinking on giving a guy who had a poor roster a chance to have a second year as a head coach. It was his first job. He might not ever get another opportunity in this league, as we've seen what the rates look like for head coaching opportunities for black former players especially as well. But for black guys in the league, it's harder for them to get those opportunities. When you get fired year one from an organization that you were with, played with, and was an assistant with, that's a bad mark on your resume. There's no way to be able to judge if he had a perfect outcome or if he got the most out of his players this year because the roster was that bad. And it's not just coming from me. This is coming from former Patriots players. Like, we all saw it. In fact, on Up and Adams today, Rob Gronkowski, former Patriot, did spend some time overlap with Gerard Mayo, and also a guy that is still aligned with, as he calls him, Mr. Kraft and the Patriots organization. Even he, the McCourty brothers, everybody that was around that organization or played for them felt like their guy, Gerard Mayo, didn't get the proper length of leash, didn't get a proper chance. Here's Gronkowski on why he believes Mayo deserved the second year in New England.
That's why I exactly said it was kind of unfair to him, because the expectations, taking over that roster, taking over that organization at that time were very, very low. I don't care what coach you had there, what you would have had there this year. They would have only won 4, 5, 6 games maximum.
He's not wrong. The funny thing is, just last year, the Patriots had a similar roster. The Patriots had the greatest coach of all time in Bill Belichick. And you want to know how many games they won, C-Cat?
How many?
Same. 4 games. So if Gerard Mayo can replicate the results of Bill Belichick in year 1, the same Bill Belichick who his first year with the Patriots, C-Cat, season number 1 back in 2000, won 5 games. He got a second chance and a third chance and a fourth chance to be good, but won 5 games in his first year. Jimmy Johnson got on the Fox broadcast and said the same thing. Hey, in my first year with the Cowboys, I won 1 game, uno, and went on to lead that franchise to multiple Super Bowl titles. If Gerard Mayo, who did not get a long enough chance to prove he's worth a head coaching job in the NFL, is upended like that from a franchise that he's dedicated most of his adult life to, both playing and as an assistant coach and then now as a head coach, gets the axe in such a disrespectful way as the guys didn't even make it home yet before we learned that Gerard Mayo was fired. There's either something more cynical going on in New England or they've lost the Patriot way. And I would hope it's just the latter. I hope it's not the former, because the former would give more credence to the history of that city and that area, and also the history of the Shield, the history of the National Football League. We know what it's like for these guys to try and get head coaching jobs in the league. We also know how short of a leash they have. Of the last 9 one-and-done head coaches in the NFL, that means your first year as a head coach, you're fired at the end of it. They don't give you another shot to make better. 5 of those 9 have been black head coaches. Of those 5, we're talking about Steve Wilkes with the Cardinals, who had horrendous quarterback play. And it's not like he picked that guy. He got hired into that job. Lovie Smith with the Texans, and David Culley, who had Davis freaking Mills. You know what I'm saying? Like, those were jobs that were lined up for them to tank and then lose their job. Same thing for Gerard Mayo. Same thing for Antonio Pierce. How do you expect those guys to do well and elevate a roster when you have a bad roster around bottom 5 quarterback? Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew. Jacoby Brissett and a rookie Drake May with a bad offensive line, and these guys pulled out 4 wins and got fired. It's disingenuous. It just is. And I'm not saying that these organizations are racist, right? Some will. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that these decisions were made because these were black head coaches. I'm just saying that the stats tell a story that are hard to ignore, and it is within an organization, the National Football League, that has a long history of this, with quarterbacks, with players, and specifically with head coaches. The funny thing they say is, one of the easiest ways to beat racism is to be fast. You can outrun racism, especially in the South. Like, SEC started bringing in all those black dudes because, damn it, they were better. They were faster. They made their team better in certain positions where they couldn't deny it. It is hard to accredit how much a coach brings value to a roster or an organization in juxtaposition to a guy like Lamar Jackson, who pops off the page and plays well, that you, even if you have preconceived notations, Bill Polian, he plays so well that you can't ignore the facts. It's harder to outsmart racism, if that's what it is, because racism is entrenched in ignorance. You can't outsmart ignorance. You can't. So again, I don't know what to call it. I perceive it as you've lost the Patriot way, because I do think the New England Patriots have failed miserably by either selecting a head coach in Gerard Mayo who failed and you knew who that guy was before you gave him the job, or by firing him too soon and not giving him a shot. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't understand. The word he used before was disingenuous. What I find disingenuous was Robert Kraft, like you said, firing Gerard Mayo before his team got home.
That's crazy.
Like it was about maybe 20 minutes after the clocks hit 0 on week 18. And then also saying it was the hardest decision he's ever made. If it was a hard decision, it would have taken more than 10 minutes to make that decision.
That's just what doesn't make sense to me.
You would sleep on it. Like,
you
just
sleep
bare
on
minimum.
hard decisions, right? Again, that's why I'm saying I think there's something more cynical going on around that organization. Or maybe he's just old and senile and he's lost his way. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe they could help paint that picture. Maybe 5-10 years from now, we're able to figure out what the hell happened there. But I'm not going to sit here and ignore it. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not happening. And people like Rob Gronkowski, former Patriots, people like Steve Weiss of NFL Network are pointing the finger at it and highlighting it. All the while, you know what the folks around the Boston media are doing? You know what the folks in good old Boston Beantown are doing?
Rooting for the new TGL team. What else?
That should be doing that. Putting out hit pieces on Gerard Mayo now. Oh, he was playing cards with the team on the plane after a loss. That's why he got fired. That's the big story today now. They're trying to find reasons to excuse the actions of the New England Patriots. It's funny, too, and I'll make this point, and then on the other side, we're bringing in Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, who's a huge Patriots fan, and I'm curious how he feels about the decision. It's funny, too. Remember how great and lauded Brad Stevens was as a head coach in the NBA?
Yes.
He was a great basketball mind and a really good head coach. I don't want to accuse anybody of anything. Brad Stevens, when he started to fail as a head coach, instead of being fired, he was actually he fell forward into the general manager position with the Celtics, which was nice because they went and hired head coaches that were better than him, who did a better job with those rosters than he was able to do. I am curious, C-Cat, if you recall the time in which, I believe it was either around the Ringer or around other parts of the NBA media, specifically in Boston, where they said this offseason, who's the most important person in the NBA? If you could pick anybody, head coach or player, who would you want to lead your team or be on your team? And they said over LeBron James playing, it would be Brad Stevens coaching a team. They talked about this dude like he was the greatest of all time. Do you want to know how many finals appearances the Celtics had under Brad Stevens in 8 seasons?
As a coach?
Yeah, as a coach.
1.
0.
Wow.
Yeah. You want to know what his winning percentage was in those 8 years with the Celtics? 55%. He won 55% of their games, and they thought that guy was more important to the NBA than LeBron James. He had just as many just as many losing seasons as he had 50-plus win seasons with the Celtics, and that guy was the second coming to God. But Ime Udoka and Joe Mazzulla, people wanted them fired. Whereas those guys are winning 60-plus percentage of their games. Those guys are bringing the team to the finals. Those guys are winning NBA finals. It is hilarious how Boston media covers and helps proliferate things that are just unjust and disingenuous. We have Kevin in Lake Worth on the Baptist Health Hotline. Kevin's in Lake Worth. Here you are on Theoretically Speaking. Before we get to the other side, Kevin, what you got, man? I'm guessing you're not a Patriots fan.
No, definitely not a Patriot fan. I wanted to, I agree with you. I think it's the Patriot way is dead. But it's not Patriot way is dead now because of this decision. The Patriot way was dead when Tom Brady walked out that door.
Yes.
When you had the greatest quarterback of all time taking pay cuts in order to make your team better, and you still had the greatest quarterback of all time, that's how you can win Super Bowls, right? And then, Bill Belichick got into his head a little bit to where, oh, well, I think I could do it without Brady. And then we found out pretty quickly that that wasn't going to happen. Now, I believe I was actually on your show last year around this time where you asked a question on what was the worst hiring, and I actually called in and I said that this Gerard Mayo was the worst hire. And it's because everybody talked about from the Patriots side was we got to do something a little bit different from what we had with Belichick.
Yep.
We have to go different. We have to go a different direction. And then they turned around and just hired the defensive coordinator who played for Bill Belichick, who's going to try to do the same thing Bill Belichick does.
Right.
It didn't make any sense.
It didn't.
Like they tried. So from day one, this was doomed. Now, do I think that he probably should have deserved at least another year? I think every head coach deserves at least 2 or 3 years. So I agree that pulling the trigger a little quick, but at the same time, they shouldn't have pulled the trigger to begin with to hire the guy. So this whole thing, Patriot Way, is dead. It was dead 3 years ago.
Kevin, immaculate call. I appreciate you tapping in on the Baptist Health Hotline here on Theoretically Speaking. Couldn't have said it better myself. The Patriot Way is dead, and it died with Brady and Belichick's departure. On the other side, we bring in a Belichick disciple himself, Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. This is Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
The 2025 Defender 110 is here. Rugged, stylish, and ready for any adventure. And now you can drive home the Defender with 3.9% APR for 48 months. For well-qualified buyers, that's as low as $22.53 a month per thousand financed. Whether you're tackling the trails or cruising city streets, the Defender delivers. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach or head to LandRoverPalmBeach.com for more information.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is Theoretically Speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
The Patriot Way is dead. The Patriots have lost their way. And just like the Patriot Way is dead, so are their opportunities to win championships in this next decade. It's over with. You know who does win a lot of championships, though? Kaiser University. The Kaiser University way is thriving. It is thriving at an all-time high right now because champions are all over the campus of Kaiser University in West Palm Beach. They've won 22 national titles, including back-to-back national championships in men's lacrosse, 3 straight NAIA women's swimming and diving titles, and, of course, the 2023 NAIA football championship. They even made it back to the title game this year. KU has captured more than 60 regular season and conference tournament titles, and they have a Learfield Cup trophy, big shiny crystal trophy, to show for it. Get the latest on Kaiser Seahawks athletics at KUSeahawks.com. Pull up on the champs. Check out the red banners. It's a fun experience. I I have I never thought I would feel this way, but I have just a really strong disdain for the Patriots. Nobody's ever hated the Patriots, right? Patriots never get any hate. Everybody loves the Pats. Today, I'm feeling some hate for that organization, but a guy that joins our show right now on the Baptist Health Hotline, Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, 6 to 10 a.m. with Michelle Smallman and Chris Canty. He absolutely loves the Patriots, and I understand why. He's a Belichick disciple, and he won a lot of rings there. Evan, how do you feel about the Patriot way today?
Well, I think what you're saying, Theo, is fair in terms of the Patriot way is dead. I don't think there's any question about that, but I think that first of all, everybody hates the Patriots. Either you love them or you hate them. They're one of the most polarizing teams, obviously. Yeah. So I saw the video you put out there at ESPN West Palm on social, and I think, let me just state it this way. What's gone on over the last 24 to 48 hours is uncomfortable, honestly, with a lot of teams. Like, it's very awkward and maybe inappropriate and maybe sham, that's the word that's been used. Some of these owners in general, the decisions, like, they can buy themselves out of a lot of bad decisions, but then you have to rewind and say, why are there so many bad decisions being made in the first place? So let's just look at the Patriots. So I think a lot of people today, one of the hottest topics around, and you've been talking about it, are the two interviews they did yesterday with Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton, two former NFL assistant coaches, two black men who would qualify for the Rooney Rule. The interviewing minority candidates. I've always had a major issue with the Rooney Rule. And let me explain what it is before people take that out of context. If you're going to try to win a race, if you're going to try to win a marathon, you're not allowed to start at mile 25. And that's what the Rooney Rule is, because it starts at the end of the process and not the beginning. I've long been a proponent for the Rooney Rule actually starting in the beginning and not the end. What do I mean? The Rooney Rule should apply for quality control coaches, assistant coaches, assistant offensive line, assistant wide receiver coaches. The whole point is to increase the candidate pool with as many qualified candidates as possible. What we are doing is we are saying, hey, at mile 25, now let's see who can win the race. But you don't get to start at mile 25. So we are trying to actually increase the candidate pool, but not doing anything to increase the candidate pool, because the candidate pool usually comes from the highest level assistant coaches or head coaches in college or fired head coaches in the NFL. Well, in order to build up as many qualified candidates as we possibly can, looking as many different places as we possibly can, it should start at the bottom and not at the top.
I agree with you on that. The lack of options also creates a position in which all of the NFL teams are doing these faux interviews with the same 7 guys every single offseason. So because there's not a lot of options, because a lot of, black coaches aren't hired into the offensive coordinator or quarterback coach positions that can get you into those interview rooms for head coaching jobs. You're right about that. The issue I had, and I'm sure you.
One other thing on this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just I want to put one other thing in place on this. What I am hoping, and I could be wrong, what I am hoping is that the two specific people that the Patriots interviewed are two specific people that Mike Vrabel's agent told Robert Kraft that Mike Vrabel's interested in as assistant coach candidates.
Okay.
And that, or other teams. Like, if we're doing it this way, where, hey, Byron Leftwich has been out of the league for a couple of years for no apparent reason, and now Byron Leftwich's agents or who, I don't know who that is, has other candidates, and they're working with the Patriots, and they're saying, get my guy's name out there, because now it's like, oh, yeah, Byron Leftwich was the offensive coordinator when the Bucs won a Super Bowl. Now, I don't know if he's best friends with Brady or not.
Yeah.
My lean is no. But the point is, like, he wasn't being mentioned. Pep Hamilton is one of Jim Harbaugh's guys for 100 years ago. I've always been a Pep Hamilton fan because of that. So, like, there is hopefully, glass half full, which I don't think we have a reason to be. And if we're going to be really real, like, let's be honest about this. I'm me, you're you. In this case, this matters, right? Like, I don't walk in shoes that you walk in, and I hate the fact that you have to walk in these shoes, that these shoes even exist. Right? So easy for me to say, much harder for you to feel. And I'm not going to not acknowledge that.
It's the double graphic, man. I think that's what kind of sewed the point in a little bit. And I'm sure you saw the tweet about 22 hours ago. Not only did the Patriots announce they interviewed both of the black coaches for the Rooney Rule purposes, obviously, because we all know they're going to hire Mike Vrabel. Not only did they announce both Pep Hamilton and Byron Leftwich in the same tweet. They made a double graphic for it and stacked them on top of each other like they were, twin brothers coming in for that. Did they interview them at the same time, too? What was the interview? Did they walk them in and have one of those roundtable interviews that you have when you're, like, going out for a Dave & Buster's? Like, it just is ridiculous. I
get it.
Yeah.
And, when you started this conversation by saying it's the Patriot way dead, there's also one other thing that, like, is sad with all of this. So from a different perspective, right? I'm not minimizing anything you're saying, obviously. It's way more important than anything I'm about to just say here. So the thing that I would say is also Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, part-time Palm Beach resident, Robert Kraft presided over the greatest dynasty in our lifetime in football.
Yeah.
But we now think about him as the guy that lost Brady and lost Belichick, or fired Belichick and then fired Mayo, his handpicked successor after 1 year. Robert Kraft, if you remember, basically when Colin Kaepernick was kicked out of the league, worked with Meek Mill, Jay-Z, and Michael Rubin for a coalition to do great things for minority candidates for all jobs and people in general and bringing equality to the country. And then he fires the black head coach after 1 year and has a double graphic yesterday. So when you say the Patriot way is dead, it's all the good is being overshadowed by the bad. And this is what people have said forever about Belichick, is it's just the one guy who did everything for them.
Yeah.
He just did everything, right? He had white assistant coaches. He had black assistant coaches. He had white players. He had black players. He had great players. He had high-priced players. He had low-priced players. He had middle. Like, he did everything. Firing that one guy is firing the entire organization.
Right. And he had control over that roster. He had control over trading. I will say this, too. I don't doubt, none of this to me feels like Robert Kraft is doing it out of a place of hate. I think that he really wants Vrabel to be the next head coach.
Not at all.
But my thing is also, too, for Kraft, what was the purpose of hiring Gerard Mayo in the first place then? Right? That's my first question, because Vrabel was available last year. What was the purpose of hiring Gerard Mayo? What was the purpose of forcing Bill Belichick out a year early, it seems like, to bring Mayo in and be the heir apparent? And on top of all of that, there is at least you as a Patriots fan that watched all the games and everything like that, it doesn't feel like Mayo failed at the job. So to fire him minutes after the game ends.
Oh, that's where I disagree.
To fire him minutes after the game ends, though, is acting as if this guy had this roster that was filled with talent and filled with promise, and he failed them in a major way. Gerard Mayo coached his team up to the same record that Bill Belichick did last year. So what is your perception on that?
Yeah, I mean, I watch every game. Like, he's terrible.
Yeah?
He was terrible. And he was terrible at things that I couldn't believe he was terrible at. Like, listen, I'm not.
Weren't they trying to lose?
No, well,
they didn't try
in the last game.
They didn't try to build up a good roster for him. I have an inkling that the guy kind of knew that he was going to be nixed before that last game and wanted to win in spite of them, similar to what we saw happen with Houston a couple years ago.
Well, that's gonna be the question that I think a lot of people bring up. Obviously, is that one? But no, he did a bad job this year. I'm not suggesting that he didn't deserve a second year, but based on what happened this year. I don't want to get so specific because people don't care that detailed, but I promise you, unbelievably unimpressive, and none of the players have come out on his behalf. If you think about it, nobody has come out.
Only former players that played with him. Yeah, none of the current players in the locker room.
There. Yeah, not one, which I don't really care because current players make dumb decisions. Max Crosby was screaming and yelling that Antonio Pierce should have been the coach, and Antonio Pierce shouldn't have been the coach of that team, and Antonio Pierce is way better than Gerard Mayo, right? And there are people screaming and yelling that Mike Tomlin shouldn't be the coach. Are you
ridiculous?
Which is the dumbest thing of all time. I would fire 7 coaches for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Somebody, I forgot who. Canty said to me the other day off the air. I don't remember who. You have to check who was number 10 in the draft. He said, "Would you give up number 10 for Mike Tomlin if you were that team?" And I forgot which team it was. I said, number 10. I'd give up 10 firsts for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
That's number 10. I'd give up literally 10 first rounders for that guy. What are we, crazy?
It is hard to see, and the number 10 pick this year would be the Chicago Bears. And
right, that's why he said that, obviously.
I would sign off on
would
it.
I give up 10 for him? I'll give up my next 10 first rounders if I'm the Bears for Mike Tomlin. What kind of crazy? This is where we got to just take some of this stuff with a grain of salt.
Yeah. So I can agree with you on this. if the Patriots feel like there's a better coaching candidate for that job, then I am not mad at the organization for pulling the trigger and going out and hiring that better person. And I'm assuming it's going to be Mike Vrabel, which also, Evan, I would say, if you want to go lockstep with what you said before, Robert Kraft sends out the signal. We want somebody opposite of Bill Belichick. They hire a Belichick disciple in Gerard Mayo, who played for and coached for the guy. And then they fire him after one season to do what? Hire Mike Vrabel?
Never coached for him. But he never coached for him, so it's a little different. And he's also been in a head like there. But listen, Theo, very simply, there are two guys definitively who I think would take this job who are way better than Gerard Mayo.
Yes,
and that one would be Mike Vrabel, and the other would be former Dolphins coach Brian Flores, who I would take in 2 seconds also. So like, and by the way, they both were available a year ago, and it's so weird. Like my fandom, as you know, is very weird and front runny with the Patriots, and it's very weird because. You know, I moved to South Florida in 2003. I fell in love with the Heat. And, like, my two teams in the weirdest fan base, I get it, the weirdest fandom of all time, are in the crosshairs right now as being these unbelievable culture teams for the last 20 years that are now being questioned every 2 seconds by everyone. And it's driving me crazy because I am defending the Heat and Butler for that matter, but I'm defending the Heat way more than I'm defending the Patriots in this regard because the Patriots feel way more lost than the Heat do, but they are both in the crosshairs.
Hey, just a quick question. I know C-Cat has one for you right here. If Vrabel wins 4 games with this team next year, then what do you do? Because I don't think he was winning much more than 4 games with them this past year.
No, you have to keep him. I mean, he's going to win more than 4 games next year. Belichick would have won way more than 4 games with this team this year.
No, he didn't. He just had the team last year and didn't win more than 4 games.
Evan,
He didn't have
He didn't have Drake May?
Quarterback. Yeah, he didn't have. Well,
how many games
Joe
did Drake
Milton
May win?
As now the ESPN radio, ESPN national flag bearer for the Heat and the Patriots. A lot has changed the past 5 years. What are you doing wrong? We're seeing these organizations' cultures collapse and be questioned. How is it that you're now on the grand stage and now it's going down in shambles?
When I think about what have I done wrong over the last year specifically to make this all happen, there's one decision I was asked about specifically in West Palm.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
And I got a call, Christian Cat, who you knew when he was an intern at SiriusXM back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we should go through with making him the full-time producer, for Theoretically Speaking, and Russo and Rizzo?
Butterfly effect.
And I said, you know what? The kid has done a good job. He's worked hard. Seems to fit culturally. Let's go through with it. And ever since then, all of my teams have gone down.
Not wrong.
And frankly, my life has been made worse as a result.
He's not wrong. Evan, before we let you go here, though, what the heck is going on with Michelle Smallman? I was getting all this heat from my Chiefs fandom, and Michelle is making me look like a godsend. She picked the Packers this past year, obviously on Unsportsmanlike, ceremoniously in her NFL Bachelorette. She picked the Packers, and she made the statement on Unsportsmanlike over the past couple of days that she, when the Packers get inevitably eliminated, is going to be rooting for divisional rival Detroit Lions. Have y'all finally changed her mind on this?
No, and she's still all in on it. It's one of the craziest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, at least my front-runningness, I stick with the team that I chose, 2 decades ago, whatever it is. But, like, I can't understand this. I said to her, I'm like, so let me just understand. Based on your logic, when the Yankees get eliminated, Red Sox fans should root for the Yankees? Because it could be – I'm sorry, other way around.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Root for the Red Sox? Yeah. I mean, that is utterly absurd. She is a glass half full person. She's amazingly nice. She roots for stories, but then you're just not a fan of the team. Like, do you think that last year, because the Celtics with this group never won a title, that when they eliminated the Heat in the first round, I was going to then root for them because it would be a good story for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to get a title? What are you, crazy? Absolutely. I hope they lost every single game after that. Like, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Can I give you a Jimmy prediction quickly?
Please do.
Okay. So I have spent an inordinate amount of time on the trade machine recently. I have done every possible trade you could imagine. And my temperature check on this changes on a daily basis. But as we sit here today, and I talked to Brian Windhorst earlier today, and I think I'm not reporting anything. I have a hunch there may be some more stuff later today in terms of news. Just keep an eye on that, CCAT, and refresh a little bit on the Twitter machine. I think he's going to have to play for the Heat. And guess what? I'm okay with that.
Me too. I think so as well. I think the market's not as hot as you would assume it to be. So
you know what the move is, Theo? You know what the move is?
Yeah.
And we see this a lot in our world as like on-air broadcasters. Like, oh, you think you want more? You think everybody wants you? Cool. Go have your agent like call everybody, and then you're like, yeah. So what are we doing tomorrow on the show? Like,
it's tricky.
Nobody wants right. So if you're Pat Riley, you know what your number one move is to Bernie Lee, the agent for Jimmy.
Yeah.
You don't believe me? Call every general manager. You know the GM names.
See what's out there.
Yeah, see what's out there. You come back to me with the trade because it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Where is and by the way, if he doesn't want to go to Memphis or Milwaukee, which
that doesn't make sense.
I don't understand.
That doesn't make sense.
Of me.
You want to win?
Why would he not want to do that?
You want to win, but you don't want to go to two places where we would then put you into the top 3 or 4 title contender spots? Like
100%. Both of those teams could get to the finals. Milwaukee could win a championship.
Come on.
Put him in there. Dame, Giannis, and Jimmy.
Come on.
Or that lineup of Ja, Desmond Bane, Jimmy, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Zach Edey, they couldn't get to the finals or conference finals at least. And you want to go to the Suns. I get it. You with Booker and Durant. I get that. But the Heat are actually better than the Suns right now.
He don't want to give up the lifestyle, Evan. He don't want to go to Memphis. He don't want to go to Milwaukee. He wants to go to Phoenix, Scottsdale. He wants to stay in Miami. He wants to go to L.A. Like he wants to go to Golden State. You know, like it's a lifestyle thing. He's 35. Come on.
Well, then the lifestyle's pretty good in South Florida.
I know.
Don't go.
He wants it all. He wants it all. He's acting a little spoiled. I'm a big Jimmy fan,
No,
but
I'm not going. I am not going. This is the thing.
Yeah.
I am not going to with him. I don't love how he's handled the last few weeks. I think he will one day regret this, and thus I am sad for him. You have not heard me anywhere or seen me on television or radio or on Twitter at Upco Radio. C-Cat, I know, has followed all my stuff all weekend, was tweeting like a madman.
Yeah.
I have not said a bad word about him, and I'm not going to.
That's not bad for me to call him to say he's acting spoiled. Because I know you don't have to sign off on it.
If you're calling somebody acting spoiled, that's not a bad thing?
It's not bad. It's just a characteristic. It's all about perspective. Sometimes somebody that I say is acting spoiled is saying, no, I have higher standards for myself and I want better. That's fine. You cannot say, I want the lifestyle and I want to be in a spot where I'm also a high-level contender and I want to be paid this. He wants it all, and he's 35 years old, averaging 18 points per game, and he's unhealthy a lot. So I love Jimmy Butler. I am defending him at all costs like you, but it does, from my perspective, seem like he's acting a little spoiled, and maybe he deserves it. Look at what he's done for the Heat over the past 5 years. So
right, but this is the thing, Theo. Like, you're a Chiefs fan. They're top organization in the sport.
I'm spoiled.
No, it's not that. Any business, any walk of life, but let's just say sports. The goal is to be so good at how you operate your business to be able to say no, right? When somebody says, I want this, this, and this, I'm sorry, you've been great, but like we have a business to operate and thus no, because we believe we can replicate, duplicate, or improve with the next person in the next system or in the next process. Tyreek Hill wanted a lot from your team, and your team said, I'm sorry, no. Like, they're good enough to say no. The Miami Dolphins, not good enough
Absolutely
to say no,
not.
right?
Yeah.
The Miami Heat, organizationally, 7 finals in the last 20 years, 2 in the last 5, are good enough to say no. They can say, I'm sorry, Jimmy, you've been unbelievable for this franchise. You have more than lived up to everything we thought you could do for us. But we're going to have to say no to 2-3 years down the line, at least at this point. That may not be a no forever. See, I believe they would have given him a contract extension. I believe if he came out this year and played 70 games, they would have made it to the conference finals. He would have averaged 22, 6, and 6, which he's definitely capable of doing all of those things. I believe they would have given him a contract extension. If you know Pat Riley, which we all do, I don't mean personally, but you know the storyline around Pat Riley, what do you think is going to get you from point A to point B? Working your butt off, playing your butt off, doing everything you can to win, or playing hardball with him in a negotiating room?
Right.
He's not. Bam Adebayo doesn't say anything, and he gives him a contract extension on the first day he's available to do so. And by the way, Bam stunk this year offensively.
Right.
Tyler Hero was called out in the exact same press conference that Jimmy was called out, and Tyler's had the best year of his career. I know you fight that point in terms of the timing of it. I get it. But, like,
he has been great.
I think. But Jimmy, this is where I feel sad for him, Theo. You know, don't you think he's going to regret the last 3 weeks? He's not going to have a home as an NBA player when he's done playing. There's no team that's going to be like, oh, come back, Jimmy Butler night. Like, and that's sad.
Yeah. That is sad because the Heat felt like it was going to be that destination. He felt like he was going to be the Heat lifer even in the later acquisition of him. But I do believe that ship is sailed with the way he's been acting over the past few weeks. That does suck.
So you think it's over? You think it's over? Like, even if he finishes out this year, his post-basketball life, like, they're not kissing and making up. He's not sitting front row and heckling the opposition with DJ Khaled in the future.
I don't think so because of the egos involved and also because he never got that championship too. I don't think Pat Riley's lifetime, I don't think that's happening. So,
Zoe did. Well, no, Zoe won.
Zoe won. That's what I'm saying.
But Zoe did what? Yeah, no, you're right.
And he also, the exit was a little different as well. We'll see how it closes out. But I just, based on what I've seen, Pat Riley, the way he's acted, the way Jimmy's acted, and the fact that there hasn't been the ultimate level of success, which is a championship ring, I just don't see this ending up well in the end. But again, crazier things have happened. That's true. Evan, I appreciate you tapping in.
Walk around that club. You got that heat like Pat Riley.
Ooh, I got that. All my boys got that heat like I'm Pat Riley. That's what I'm talking about. Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Appreciate the call. We'll tap in with you again next week. That was Evan Cohen on the Baptist Health Hotline. CCAT, I know we went way over on both of our segments, so I apologize. I've been killing the clock today. But how about we just get into the happy hour? Should I tell the good people, though, about EDS Air Conditioning and Plumbing? Talking about that heat.
It's true.
My boys got that cool. Like I'm the opposite of Pat Riley. What would that be, Danny Ainge? I don't want to be that. We need to let you know about EDSisYes.com because it is. EDSisYes.com. They are your trusted AC experts in Palm Beach County. If your house got that heat during the summertime, well, you're going to want EDS. They got a 4.8-star Google rating with over 760 reviews. They've been keeping you cool since 2006. 24/7 support at EDSisYes.com. Timely service. You can book it online at your will and book it around your schedule. Again, for your AC and your plumbing needs, EDSisYes.com. Be a Gold Plan member like me, and you can be hooked up in the future and feel comfortable, safe, and good. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. Big shout to Evan Cohen for pulling up on the other side. John Bostic, former NFL player, Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Famer, pulls up for the happy hour. We are, theoretically speaking, on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Is your car stuck in the past? Is it still, lacking excitement? Time for a change? Hello 2025 Discovery Sport. With sleek design, incredible performance, and, wait for it, 3.9% APR for 48 months. Yes, you could be driving this beauty for as low as $22.53 a month per 1,000 financed. That's practically a steal. Don't let your old ride make you feel like a dinosaur. Get into a Discovery Sport today and feel like you're driving the future. Only at Land Rover Palm Beach.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com. pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group. Group.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
The 2025 Land Rover Discovery is here, ready to take you wherever adventure leads. Lease the Discovery for just $829 a month for 36 months, with $69.95 due at signing, or finance at 2.9% APR for 60 months. Luxury, capability, and style combined in one powerful SUV. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach in person or online at LandRoverPalmBeach.com. Offer ends soon.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Join us on Saturday, January 11th from 7 a.m. to noon for a free lithium battery collection and document shredding event in Delray Beach. Lithium batteries that are disposed of irresponsibly are a fire hazard. These items should never be put into the garbage or recycling bins. The Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County is providing you this opportunity to drop them off and bring up to 6 boxes of documents to be shredded on site. Do your part, and a fire won't start. Learn more at swa.org/LIB.
You've got so many chances to win big on Hard Rock Bet. Even a small bet can bring in that serious cash. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Unbelievable. They've hit the parlay.
Let's go! Big payouts for every kind of player.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. Well, I tell you, that was some of the heavier talk we've had on Theoretically Speaking. over the past year or so. If you did miss the first hour, as we brought in Evan Cohen, we talked the Patriot way, the ridiculousness around the Gerard Mayo firing, and now the flirting with other coaches, and then doing the obvious spit in the face of the Rooney Rule stuff, and some Heat culture, Jimmy Butler talk. We also got into it with specifically what we've seen gone down around TGL and opening day. If you want any of that, go back to where you find your podcast, Theoretically Speaking. Go to YouTube at ESPN West Palm. Check out the Theoretically Speaking playlist. We have it all for you there. And we got the happy hour for you here on the radio airwaves. That's C-Cat on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. Happy hour season. Tina is not going to be in for this happy hour. She's got some things she's tending to. We're going to have John Bostic, former NFL linebacker, Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame, John Bostic of Palm Beach Central. He's going to be in for the happy hour here as he's pulling up, and we're going to chop it up. We got to talk some football. NFL Wildcard Weekend is coming up, C-Cat. It is right on the other side of the fence. You can almost smell it. Plus, college football 12-team playoff is tomorrow. Penn State versus Notre Dame, and then Friday we have Ohio State and Texas. It is the nitty-gritty, baby.
Yeah, you know how I don't know how much you've ever watched Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah. No, I've never watched.
Well, in settings like that, where it's fantasy or Renaissance or whatever, there's a big, grand feast you have before you go to war.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight is that feast for me. Going to feast, going to drink with my friends, going to tell tales of times in the past before we ultimately go to war as Penn State football fans against Notre Dame on Thursday night. So I'm really taking it all in because today is the last day in the history of my life that I will not be a national championship berth fan. And it feels good.
If indeed.
Now they'll win.
Okay.
Now they'll win. It's a foregone conclusion. You can take it to the bank.
I will say this too. Black head coach James Franklin, which I just learned this past week is black because, well, for the very first time, we're going to have a black head coach in college football coaching for the national championship. Are you worried at all about the statement he made today? Have you seen this? Penn State head coach James Franklin.
James? Why are we talking, James? What do you say?
He stresses that college football playoff needs uniformity. He says everybody should be in a conference, calling out Notre Dame for being an independent and seemingly every year going to be able to just like schedule their way into a college football playoff appearance for the next decade plus. It feels like that's what the situation is. Do you agree with? Are you lockstep with the brother?
Well, yeah, he gets an auto. I mean, Notre Dame will always get an auto bye. If they're anything worth a damn, they will be in the top 12. And if they're in the top 12, they don't have to play a conference championship game, and they're automatically in the college football playoff.
And they get a home game.
And Penn State would have been in the same exact situation as Notre Dame if, and a lot of ifs, Ohio State didn't pee the bed against Michigan.
Right.
It should have been Michigan-Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. That was kind of the foregone conclusion until that travesty of a football game happened at the shoe. So Penn State was about to be in that situation where they wouldn't have had to play the conference championship game and automatically would have had a great seed in the college football playoff without necessarily having to go to battle the weekend before.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a glass house situation because Penn State should have been in a very similar situation.
They absolutely should, and I do want to, before we get into the hefty football talk, and we got our guy Bostic pulling up here now, I do want to give a quick update, not necessarily in football, but this is really topical in the state of Florida.
My leg! I am not angry. I am in pain. My leg!
Time now for an injury report.
My head and torso!
Wow, that's crazy. They hit me everywhere except
my legs!
Presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
My leg!
The Orlando Magic, they sit in fourth place in the Eastern Conference right now at 22-16. That's a good thing because they're soon to be getting back their best player, Paolo Banchero, sometimes mistaken for Patrick Mahomes at F1 in Miami. The Magic are expected to upgrade Banchero to questionable on the injury report. His return is likely this Friday. That per Shams Charania of ESPN. Banchero's been out since October 30th. He tore his oblique after he started the season absolutely on fire. He's the best player right now in the state of Florida in the NBA, and he's soon to be considered one of those guys that is perennially on the top All-NBA list, top 10, top 15 guy perennially every year. So Paolo Banchero's return to the Magic comes just in time as they still have them in a reputable situation, looking to have a home court advantage first-round series in the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's your Baptist Health Orthopedic Care Injury Report, the return of Paolo, and it's brought to you by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, right? Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery, as well as new, less invasive treatments, with the goal to return you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. Paolo's back. We'll see if Jimmy ever returns after the suspension that he has been served by the Heat following all of the conduct detrimental to the team, following the trade request. Now he's been making trade demands, like he doesn't want to go to Memphis. He doesn't want to go to other contending teams like Milwaukee. There's been a lot of consternation around the Jimmy and Heat relationship. One thing I can say definitively, even if Jimmy comes back, he won't be the best player in the state of Florida because Paolo has that crown. He's better.
You know, I'm kind of getting around on thinking all relationships have rifts. I don't think we're past the point of no return with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. I think that these two sides can come together once again and reunite as one. And we're going to have one last ride of Jimmy Butler as a Miami Heat.
Here's what I'll say. I think they are in a marriage of convenience at this point because Jimmy Butler's value isn't as high as he perceives it to be, and it's also not as high as what the Heat would want in return for a Jimmy Butler trade, not just because of his age, injury history, and his performances as of late, but also his contract and the contract that you would have to pay him once you do give up assets to get Jimmy. So I still think he's an elite level player at times. I just think he can't be that night in and night out. I think that there's no perfect situation for him to go into right now. And also, if he's going to sit up on his throne, and I call him spoiled, but I'll say this. I don't think Jimmy Butler is spoiled, right? He hustled his way into the league. He went through community college. He was a second-round pick. He was in the shadows of Derrick Rose. He created this life for himself. He is self-made, and I am appreciative of that. The guy is gritty, hard worker. He's anything but spoiled if you know his journey. I think that if at this age, in this situation, he wants to be on a contender in a city that has good vibes and is nice to live in and hang out in, and he wants a contract, that is a spoiled act. Similar to how I said Josh Allen might not be a selfish player, but it's selfish of him to want to do the consecutive start streak. So he starts week 18 just to keep this number going that doesn't actually really matter in the long-term scheme of things when it comes to winning championships. Jimmy Butler is not a spoiled person, but he's acting spoiled if he wants all of the best things and everything to be perfectly laid out for him, because you're not LeBron. You're not even a champion yet in the NBA. You can't demand those kind of things when you've been giving us what we've seen in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I see that. I think a lot of NBA basketball players this day and age think that they are the exception, oftentimes because they have been the best where they were when they were there.
Yeah.
And once you get to the top, you have like 20 to 25 guys think that they are the center of the universe, and that's just not how the world works unless you're LeBron James.
Right. There's only one LeBron. Like, even KD ain't got that much motion, right? Like, he is a guy that you would think, oh, if KD ain't got that much motion and he's got a couple of rings and he's been there with organizations as well, guys like Melo, guys like Wade. Like, Wade had a stare down with the Heat and lost. So I'm just like, you got to, like, at a certain point, you do have to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I have to concede on one of these things, whether it be the contract, the city, or the opportunity to contend. He's not going to be able to get all three. And if he does get all three, the Heat might not get enough value back in that trade to make it worth their while. They're just going to roll it over to the offseason and say, hey, now the onus is on you. Either pick up that player option and come back to a play for us for $52 million, and we'll try to trade you on this expiring contract, which might be easier to move, or opt out and be a free agent. And your only option is going to be the Brooklyn Nets because they're the only one with cap space to fill up a max salary spot. So he's as much leverage as Jimmy has. The February 6th trade deadline for the NBA, once that passes, he loses a ton of leverage because I don't think the Heat are threatened by that player option. I think they know he's going to be in a situation where he opts in or opts out. He's kind of screwed.
Yeah, I think a lot can also be solved in a conversation. Like we have a lot of guys talking to the media, and that's where the friction comes because they voice their displeasure more towards everybody else that's not actually tangibly involved in the situation, and it makes the organization look bad. That makes Pat Riley do it himself as well. But you get in the room, even saw it with another Miami team, with the Dolphins. After Tyreek Hill met with Dolphins brass, they said, okay, no, I'm not actually requesting a trade formally, but this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Butler got in a room with Pat Riley, I don't know if this has happened recently or not. No, that's just not happening.
It's over with, bro. Pat Riley drove LeBron James out. He drove Dwayne Wade out. He had his conflicts with Alonzo Moore. He has conflict with everybody, and if you haven't even won a ring for the dude, there's no way he's putting up with any of it. I think Pat was pushed up to the edge of what he was willing to put up with when he had that postseason press conference and made all those statements about Jimmy, and I think that also set Jimmy over the edge. We're at the point of no return. That relationship will never be reconciled. If Jimmy does stay with the Heat, it is going to be a marriage of convenience and not one that either party wants anything to do with. The good thing is, like you said, I do believe both the Heat brass and Jimmy Butler operate well in situations of chaos, in situations of hate, in situations of turmoil, so they can actually look good while being, in a position of conflict.
Yeah, dysfunctional.
Because they're all used to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to operate in those situations very easily because a lot of them are maniacal. But I also would say if this was Jimmy Butler from 4 years ago, who was a lot more healthy, had a little more burst, and was able to play back-to-backs and was able to play deep in the playoff series and rounds, then you can win something. I just don't think he's good enough. Like, he'll be operable. Oh,
yeah.
That's a big word for Elmer.
Sorry. He'll be good. I just don't think he'll be good enough. So it's not going to look good. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit. I'm a little bit down, and that was a big word for Elmo. John Bostic on the way here. He's going to be pulling up Washington Commanders former linebacker and current Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Famer. We're going to be giving out so stick around here on Theoretically Speaking. We're going to be actually giving out the 2025 class for the Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame. These are the trailblazers. These are the move makers that have shown themselves to stand out from others in the world of sport. We'll see if CCAT made the cut this time around. We're going to do the official breaking and announcing of that in just about 10 minutes here. Again, Bostic is already a part of that Hall of Fame. But in order to be a pristine-level athlete, a high-level, high-functioning, high-performing person, a lot of times you have to look good, feel good, play good. CCAT, you just got through with a journey that has you looking slim, looking good, moving a lot lighter on your feet. What have you done since this new year hit?
I love how you have to team me up for this now.
Yeah.
You just shower me with compliments, contractually obligated to do so. I signed up with MetTrim MD right before the holidays because I wanted to lose weight, and I wanted to lose weight fast. And they did just that. It was simple. One choice I made. Sign up with MetTrim MD. M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com. Had me lose 17 pounds in 4 weeks. 17 pounds in 4 weeks. Exactly. Think about the cruise you're about to book.
Come on.
You can book it now for a month from now and then fit in that nice bathing suit that you just bought. It's simple. It's easy. MetTrim MD. You lose weight so fast that you stay motivated. You see results instantly, and you're not struggling through this. You're not feeling hungry. You're not getting belly aches. You're feeling full. You're feeling satisfied. You're feeling energized. That's what happens when you sign up with MetTrim MD. Dr. Amorosino, he learned from the best of the best at the Boston University School of Medicine. It's medical weight loss, not one size fits all. So every single plan, it's tailor-made for the individual. You're going to get a different plan from me. You're going to get a different plan from the person that walks in behind you. Yeah. It's all tailor-made to every individual. Go to MetTrimMD.com. M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com to get your free consultation, free consultation with MetTrim MD. Let's lose some weight.
Lose weight and you ain't got to even pick up weights. You know what I'm saying? By the way, speaking of picking up weights, C-Cat, this morning as I was coming back from getting a fresh fade, by the way, appreciate. Big shout to my barber, the fade Dr. Kev. As I was getting ready to leave there, I get a call from my guy. You know this guy, Shane Wright, the one that looks like
Morris Chestnut.
Yes, he looks like Morris Chestnut. He is the local sports anchor and news anchor for WPBF, Channel 25. I get a call from Shane, and he's like, yo, Theo, where you at? We live really close to each other. So he's like, yo, need your help just lifting this box into my car right quick. Just take a few minutes. If you just help me lift this box up, it's a two-man job. So I was like, all right, bet, man, I'm coming back from a haircut. I'll run by there before I go home, help you get it in the car and keep it pushing. Got some things to do this morning. So I pull up on my dog, Shane, who, by the way, when I pulled up on him, guess what he was sporting because it was a little chilly outside?
The TGL hoodie.
The TGL hoodie. It is, if you see somebody in the dark blue TGL hoodie, by the way, and if you don't know what tomorrow's golf league is, it is out there at SoFi Center in Palm Beach Gardens. The debut was last night. Every Tuesday in primetime on ESPN, you can check out TGL as the best golfers in the world. Play some virtual golf for your pleasure. He was wearing the TGL hoodie. I said, oh, that's nice, man. You know, we had a little banter about how TGL was last night. He was like, here's the box, man. So it was some workout equipment that got accidentally shipped to him. He needed to get it shipped to his buddy. I said, all right, bet. Help him load the stuff down. By the way, he lives on the third floor. You know this.
Mm-hmm.
He lives on the third floor. Help him get the box down, 3 levels. We're talking about real workout equipment like, you know, a bench bar that's 45 pounds, some other stuff. Like, this is some hefty stuff. You got to lift it to get better.
Called you for a reason.
Called me for a reason, right? By the way, it's not like we're the same level of strength. It's just a two-man job. It's not like I'm a big dude. I'm not helping any of y'all move out there. Call the pros. So we moving the stuff down the stairs. We get it into his car. Close the door. I wrap it up. You know, do the whole, you know how you do. And then I'm like, all right, it's all over with.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can get on about my day, get the show ready, do some show prep with you. I got some videos to cut up. I'm about to head home. As I'm getting back into my car to go home, hey, Theo, you got like maybe about like 5-10 more minutes to spare. Just roll me up there to to the store to help me get it out the car and bring it in. I said, damn, Shane, it's a tough spot you got me in right now because I know it's gonna be hard for you to get that stuff out of your car. I just helped you load it in.
Yes.
You hooked me with, hey, just help me get some stuff into my car. And now you're asking me to prolong this task, even though I had some things set up. So you know what I did, C-Cat?
What'd you do?
I hopped in my car and I helped him.
Wow.
I hopped in my car like the sucker I am.
Yes, man.
Yes, like the sucker I am. Shane knew the sucker when he called. That's why he called me. He knew. He's like, yo, Theo's a sucker. I'll just tell him I got to get something in my car. I mean, that's only it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
So like the sucker I am, Shane Wright, WPBF, he gets me to help him, and I drive with him to the store, and then we unload the stuff. And no, before we unload the stuff, we got to go in and check with them to make sure it's okay. And a thing that was supposed to take 2 or 3 minutes, just helping somebody get some stuff into a car, took about 30 to 45 minutes out of my morning. And it was all centered around some workout equipment. So to whoever's getting that stuff, I hope you do have the successful 2025 you're looking for. You could have did MetTrim MD and not put me and Shane through that hassle this morning, and you wouldn't have had to lift any weights to lose any weight. But also, Shane, who we're going to see here in about 30 minutes on PBS Channel 25 doing the news here. Shane, hey, next time be more forthcoming?
Yeah, forthcoming.
Forthcoming? That's a big word for him. I'm working on it. Be more forthcoming about these tasks, man.
How are you going to get yours? Like, what's the payback?
There's no payback. You know what? I have to do something, though. I do have to set them up with a task. I'm going to tell them it's going to be really quick. I'm going to make it more. I'm going to add steps to it each way along the way. I got to figure out a way to get back. You're right. I don't know how so far. Also, I will say this, too. Last time I invited him over, this is a party foul. And I don't mean to keep outing my guy, Shane. I'm doing this because that's my dog, and I know I can. That's my dog. I ain't tripping. If you invite somebody over to a party that you carefully craft and do all these things and make it a nice elevated environment, you're like, hey, come, what do I need to bring? Yo, just bring a bottle or something. Bring a bottle, your favorite bottle. And he comes over with a bottle that's half done, that's already open, that you already been kicking it with. You're bringing me the tapped bottle already. I'm supposed to be able to bless the bottle with you. We're supposed to open it celebratory together, and you bringing me a half done bottle. Hey, I got a few bones to pick with Shane. So if you're watching Channel 25 here in about 30 minutes, make sure you email in and tell Shane he's a deadbeat friend. That's all I want to say. A deadbeat friend.
Oh, you can't unsay that.
That's right. I said it. Said it right here on Theoretically Speaking. What is he going to do? He can't hear me. He's prepping for his show.
That's true.
Yeah, he'll never know. C-Cat, we do want to talk some wild card weekend. We have been into the thick of things here on Theoretically Speaking, talking all kind of points, and I might have just lost one of my best buds here in Palm Beach County. We'll see. We'll see what happens out of that. Maybe that reputation, maybe that relationship can be repaired, unlike Jimmy Butler and our guy Pat Riley. I'm going to go through each of Wild Card Weekend's matchups, and I'll give you the biggest question that will be answered when the games are played this weekend. Love a good Wild Card Weekend. What do they call it now? Isn't it Super Wild Card Weekend now because of the extra?
The thing was, it was Super Wild Card Weekend when they expanded Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah.
But now the expanded Wild Card Weekend is the standard Wild Card Weekend.
So it was just Super that 1 year?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
You can just add Super to anything.
Right. Okay. So this is
Epic Wild Card Weekend.
I like Epic better. Epic Wild Card Weekend. It starts with, well, it doesn't start with, but one of the biggest games of the weekend, the 4 versus 5 in the NFC, the Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams. The number one question that many people think about this game is, well, what's going to happen with Sam Darnold? Can he prolong his stay in Minnesota with a good performance here? The number one question that will actually be answered on that field at SoFi is going to be, is this the end of the Rams' run? If the Rams fall to the Vikings with 36-year-old quarterback Matt Stafford and a guy in Sean McVay who's head coaching them that has already felt like he has a place to go in retirement, I think that this could be the end of the run for the Rams. If you're looking on YouTube on the Prize Pick stream, you see me trying to direct my guy, John Bostic, who just pulled up to the studio. John, pull up to the mic. Who just pulled up to the studio. We're going to talk some ball and everything. Your mic is on. Those are your headphones. You can pop those on here on Theoretically Speaking in the happy hour. Before we get going, John, I'm doing a little NFL talk right now, so you came in at the perfect time. Number one, it's the happy hour. What's your favorite cocktail?
I don't drink.
You don't drink?
Never drank in my life.
You never drank in your life?
Never drank in
So
my
what's
life.
your favorite mocktail? What's your move when you're at a party and everybody's drinking and you want to just have something in your hand? A little Sprite? A little ginger ale?
Gatorade.
You can't order a Gatorade at the bar.
And water.
This dude you're still in very good shape even post your career, so I get what you're saying there. That's how you keep your body in shape. Did you need to run and make a move there? You can make the move.
Oh, yeah, I just didn't want to get on.
You're good. You won't be on camera right there. So go make that move. As I wrap up my Rams-Vikings talk, make that move, and then we'll get back into the stuff. That guy, John Bostic, Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Famer John Bostic, and former Washington Commanders linebacker. I need to pick his brain about these Commanders, so I'm glad he popped in right now. But again, C-Cat, am I off base by saying this could be the end of it all for them with the uncertainty around what the priorities are for their head coach and an old quarterback and a roster that isn't popping off the page?
I don't know. We saw Sam Darnold get kind of exposed. And it's hard to unsee what we saw on Sunday Night Football in Week 18, that division or bust matchup. I think it's the Sam Darnold game. I think the price that teams are willing to pay for Sam Darnold depends on this game. If he falls flat in his face in the next round of the playoffs, in the divisional round, so be it. But you got to win a playoff game, and he can't look bad. That's the Sam Darnold answer being made right now.
That's true. I do think he's done enough this year, though, to get a new job next season. I do think that if the Rams lose this game, and especially if it looks ugly, there's going to be a lot of more serious questions to be asked or answered on the Rams side. The next game that is going to be, it's going to be a huge data point for many people involved. John, your former team, the Washington Commanders, they take on a pesky Bucs team. And I believe this game, the question that'll be answered right now, right here, is Jaden Daniels not just a franchise quarterback? We know that at this point. Is Jaden Daniels a guy that we need to start talking about in top 5 territory? He can answer that if he's able to get a playoff win over the Bucs based off of what he's done this season and what that roster is like in Washington. Am I off base by that? Do you think we can have that conclusion come the end of this weekend?
For me, he's been making plays all year.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. He's put that team on his back, and he's been getting after it and leading that offense. And to see a rookie, yes, he's a little bit older, which is giving him an advantage coming in. But the offensive coordinator and what he has, and you've got Dan, that's running this whole thing. Like Dan's been there before. He's been in the playoffs multiple times. He's won Super Bowls. He's been to multiple Super Bowls. it'll be interesting because the one thing about the Bucks, like, they've been here before.
Yeah,
they got a lot of guys that they just need to get in the dance, and they got in the dance, and now can they make some noise?
They got Marshawn Lattimore on the other side. Can't wait to see that matchup, Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. John Bostic, as he joins us, former NFL linebacker. What team do you most closely associate yourself with? I always just say Commanders because you had 2 stints there. You obviously retired a Commander. Where do you kind of weigh yourself there with it?
For me, I spent a great deal of my career in Washington.
Yeah.
And whether it's the Commanders, whatever. Like,
yeah.
I still got a lot of close friends that are there. Some of those guys I still text. Some of those guys are on other teams now, and we still text each other here and there, call each other, FaceTime, whatever it might be. I'm happy for those guys and being able to turn it around so quick. People didn't really expect that, but for me, Dan coached me my last 2 years in college.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Dan coached me my last 2 years in college, and I know what type of coach Dan is, and I thought I was going to be going to Seattle when I came out, and ended up in Chicago, and everything worked out, exactly how it's supposed to. But Dan's one of those guys that people respect, people want to play hard for. He's the ultimate players coach.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's getting the most out of this team, even with that rookie quarterback. So I can't wait to see what that matchup looks like. And we're getting more nuggets through John Bostic's career here, who former Florida Gator, former Palm Beach Central Bronco, and a Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Famer. We're going to go to break here. John, we have some duties to do. Number one, we got to talk about the Wellington Sports Academy. I see you sporting a polo. Something new, bright, and exciting coming to Palm Beach County here locally. Also, we have to give out the 2025 class for the Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. I have a list right here in front of me. Nobody's seen it yet, not even you. I'm sure you have, but we're going to give it out. We're going to break it here on Theoretically Speaking, and we'll get more NFL talk here. Thanks for pulling up, John, in the happy hour. We'll get your Gatorade ready for you. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey with Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
The Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, an affiliate of the Palm Beach Health Network, is committed to delivering high-quality care to the communities they serve. Their award-winning physicians and specialists provide a level of expertise that has resulted in regional firsts and outstanding patient outcomes. For a physician referral, call 866-654-2362. To learn more about the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group, visit pbhnphysiciangroup.com. pbhnphysiciangroup.com to get in touch with the Palm Beach Health Network Physician Group.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers. It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
The 2025 Defender 110 is here. Rugged, stylish, and ready for any adventure. And now you can drive home the Defender with 3.9% APR for 48 months. For well-qualified buyers, that's as low as $22.53 a month per thousand financed. Whether you're tackling the trails or cruising city streets, the Defender delivers. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach or head to LandRoverPalmBeach.com for more information.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
He is part of the 2009 class of Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Famers, former Commanders linebacker, former Florida Gator. I guess once a Gator, always a Gator, right?
Absolutely.
So John Bostic is in with us here on the Happy Hour. C-Cat on the other side of the glass. It's me, Theo Dorsey, on Theoretically Speaking. It's time for us to get right to business. Before we do this, because I know you all have been waiting, sitting on pins and needles. People still say that, sitting on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're kind of like on the edge of your seat, or does that mean it kind of hurts? It's agonizing to wait. What are we going at there with that?
Anxious.
It's more anxious because you're like, pins and needles. You can't. Okay. Just making sure. Before we tell you about who's going to be in the 2025 class for the Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame, I got to tell you about one of the greatest traditions in Palm Beach County. It is the South Florida Fair. It starts January 17th, and you can get your advanced discount tickets right now. John, you grew up in Palm Beach County. Have you ever ventured out to the South Florida Fair?
I did. I used to go every year.
Every year. What do you remember most about it? Because me, it's always the fried foods, a couple little rides here and there, but I just love getting the fried Oreo. Like, that hits.
Yeah, I'm a big funnel cake guy.
Yeah.
And, if you got ice cream with it, I'm really a fat boy at heart.
Yeah. So, look, no alcohol. That's where you cut it back at. But when you see some sweets, you go, I'm digging in.
Absolutely.
I like it. So, at the South Florida Fair, you can treat yourself to all of that, right? So many different foods, fried. There's some healthy stuff there as well for you, but also so many activation to be a part of, including Theoretically Speaking. We'll be there for the first week of the South Florida Fair. Again, January 17th at the South Florida Fairgrounds. If you want tickets right now, either go to your nearest Publix or you can jump online at southfloridafair.com. It's that simple, baby. southfloridafair.com. That's where you can go to get your advanced discount tickets. And again, you use those half-off tickets, And then you can also get an extra day if you go on opening day for January 17th. It's perfectly set up. Also perfectly set up is the Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame. John Bostic, you yourself have had so many accomplishments in your life. Second-round draft pick for the Chicago Bears. Played about, 10 years in the NFL. Florida Gator. Been coached by some of the greatest. Where does being a part of that 2009 class, being heralded amongst the greats here in Palm Beach County, where does that rank amongst your many accomplishments?
I think it's everything. I tell these kids, it's amazing playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's amazing going and, in front of 100,000 people, in Gainesville and playing in that Ben Griffin Stadium. Like, you really can't explain that, but there is nothing else like high school football.
Yeah.
And what we did, at Palm Beach Central, the guys we were able to, push out of there, there was 2 draft picks out of that, 2009 class from Palm Beach Central.
O'Donnell, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we both actually got drafted to Chicago together.
That's
So,
kind of crazy, man.
Yeah. It's crazy because I told Pat, because I got drafted 1 year before Pat, because he redshirted in college. But I told him, I'm like, hey, bro, you're getting ready to get drafted to Chicago. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you don't know kicking. I was like, I know one thing in Chicago, you got to handpick your kickers.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Next thing you know, 6th round draft pick goes across. Chicago Bears take Patrick O'Donnell.
Is it because of the weather conditions up there? Why do they feel like they have to handpick kickers?
The weather's so bad up there. Like when that wind comes off that lake, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And you got to have, big, strong kickers that can kick through the wind. And Pat, he might be a kicker, but Pat's a big dude.
Yeah, he is.
Pat's, 6'4", and, he's always kind of flirted around that 215, 220. He ran a 4.5 40. He ran the 200 and 400.
Yeah.
For us back in the day, like Pat's like athletic. I think when even 225 at the combine, I think he hit like 26, 27 times.
So he was a monster.
Yeah, he loves working out. That's Pat. Pat wants to work out a lot.
Okay, well, there you have it. A little insight into Pat O'Donnell. I thought he was just the guy that was, kicking that thing off his foot. He also pushing the weights. I ain't going to try him. I also wouldn't try any of these 7 names we're about to list off here. Breaking news, courtesy of Theoretically Speaking, the 2005 nominees for the Palm Beach County Sports Commission Hall of Fame. And I will let a Hall of Famer be the one to give them to you. Starting off with, let's go just alphabetically ordered. So this man made his bank in football. John Bostic, who is our first nominee?
First nominee is Corey Banks.
Corey Banks, who gets in. He's going to be a Hall of Famer in the 2005 class. Our second person to announce here, well, he made it hard for other coaches on the hardwood. Yeah, who is this?
We got Jim Howell.
Jim Howell, a basketball coach who literally made his way so much that he is now a Hall of Famer alongside people like John Bostic. Our next candidate, who is also a finalist, who is going to be inducted in the 2005 class, he did it on the gridiron like yourself, John Bostic. Who's this?
We got Andy Kistner.
Andy Kistner. Congratulations, Andy. You're amongst the greats, forever enshrined. Our next person did his with the clipboard in hand, an old ball coach in football. Who we got joining this class?
We got Bill Powers.
Bill Powers. Big shouts to Bill Powers, making it shake. This one is in the baseball land, and also this guy is a guy you're familiar with because he coached at Palm Beach Gardens, the Gators. I'm sorry, I confused my Gators there. Who's number 5?
Number 5 is Joe Russo.
Joe Russo. I made a mistake because I remember you're a Gator, and then I realized you're Palm Beach Central, and you didn't overlap. Did you know of Joe Russo though out there in the Gators?
I did.
You were a baseball player at Palm Beach Central.
I didn't play at Central because I was running track over there.
Oh, okay.
For me, football and track always went hand in hand. But I always played in the summertime, and Devin and I, we go all the way back to middle school playing baseball and basketball together, and I ended up playing football. So.
Okay, so you picked the right one. You picked the right one. Even though I did hear you were a really good baseball player back in the day. Devin Travis stamped that, former MLB player and former Bronco as well. This next man is a track and field coach at Benjamin Still, and he's one of the best in the business. He's great at promoting his athletes. Who we got next?
We got Barrett Saunders.
Barrett Saunders. If you don't know him personally, I'm sure you've seen plenty of his tweets. He does a great job of helping get kids offers and helping promote the athletes there with the Bucks.
Absolutely.
And capping off for 2025 class for the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame is a man who made his name in football.
Yes, sir. We got Vinny Sutherland.
Vinny Sutherland. congratulations to our class of 2025. We will be having a ceremony, obviously, on Sunday, March 16th, the Palm Beach County Sports Hall of Fame, which John Bostic was a part of the 2009 class and is one of his best achievements, he said, and there's been many on that list. Thank you for doing that with me, John. I do want to tell y'all that if your stomach starts growling around that time, maybe before the Sports Hall of Fame, maybe afterwards, Duffy Sports Grill is a good place to go to be able to fuel your belly. In fact, they got some sweet treats there as well, John.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got some stuff on the dessert menu. My favorite thing is the 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. But you'll appreciate this though. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. So you can maybe we can get you 2 Gatorades for the price of one. Duffy'sMVP.com. That's where you can go to find the Duffy nearest you. The Duffy Sports Grill nearest you. They've also got 80 or more televisions in every single Duffy Sports Grill, so that helps with being able to watch all the action. Think about a typical Sunday or Saturday. You want to watch some football. Maybe there's basketball on screens as well. I love Duffy's because you can ask your waiter or waitress, hey, can you turn that one to hockey and then that one to basketball? And then there's as I said, classic going on ESPNU right now. I want to watch that game too. Maybe that classic is when the Gators played Louisville. We're going to talk about a moment that happened with you in college. I know you know what I'm talking about. Duffy'sMVP.com. That's where you can go be a rewards member like myself, an MVP, and you can track your rewards today. Duffy Sports Grill. At Duffy's, our game is always on. C-Cat, I know we got to get to the other side. Quick question, John. Mm-hmm. How much are you frequenting social media these days? You're a very busy man. You are the leader of now Wellington Sports Academy. You have a lot of things on your plate. Are you on social media a lot these days?
I'm doing a better job with it.
Yeah, trying to get active.
I've never been a big social media guy. Even when I was playing, my little brother and them, they used to train with me. A lot of kids now, they like to film this drill and film that. Like, of
course.
And for me, I was just always different. Like, I don't need people to know that I, put in work. I let my work speak for itself. And what you did, play 10 years in the NFL, and I'm, proud of every year. And look forward just to, helping this next generation out.
Is there any team you wish you would have played for? I know you played for plenty of different organizations. You were with the Lions at one point, the Patriots, obviously the Bears, the Commanders. Is there any team or player you wish you would have played for?
Not really. I mean, for me, football is just when you strap it up and you go between those lines, and I know the rules have changed a lot, now. So, but that's what I always knew football to be. It's a competitive game. It's a physical game. It's a man's game, and I like to compete.
Nobody knows that better than one Teddy Bridgewater. John, you know what moment I'm about to bring up, but I was curious if you frequent social media because it came up recently on Ryan Clark's podcast. I want you to hear Teddy Bridgewater talk about, do we have it, C-Cat? Do we have it?
Yeah, we do have it. I thought we were going to break first.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go to break and play it on the other side?
I do.
Okay, we're going to go to break, and you'll hear Teddy Bridgewater's reaction to the hit heard around the world that you laid on him in a game back in college. And I just want to get your thoughts on where that mentality still is today. So stick around. That's John Bostic. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Good people. It's your boy Theo Dorsey, and it's playoff time, so it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last few weeks of football action with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the playoffs. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your games all playoffs on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Think Lamar Jackson will get more than 250 passing yards next week? Will Patrick Mahomes pass for more than 1.5 touchdowns? Cook up hot takes Picks with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
The year was 2013. The game was the Sugar Bowl, the Florida Gators versus the Louisville Cardinals. Literally about 12 years ago to this day, when the man sitting in front of me had one of the more violent hits. We've seen in a while. John Bostic laying one on Teddy Bridgewater, another South Florida native and resident. So we got to get into that here on Theoretically Speaking. John, you obviously, what year did you technically officially retire? Did you ever do the official retirement papers thing with the NFL? Oh, you good? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I didn't do the official retirement.
Yeah, so you're still active then?
No, I'm not active.
Yeah. 2022 was your last year, though.
Yeah. Yep.
The game has changed a lot.
It has.
The game has changed a lot. What do you remember about this here hit we're looking at here on the screen? You could kind of see it right there in the middle where you laid the smackdown on quarterback Teddy Bridgewater and made him rethink some things, I'm sure, in that moment.
That defense we had that year, that's one of the best defenses that was ever put together, at Florida. It sucks that we didn't get our chance to, play in that national championship game. They offered to put Notre Dame in, and it was a blowout. But I mean, we had the toughest schedule in the country, knocked off 4 of the top 5 teams in the country. We had 1 loss, and, we still ended up knocking, I think 2 top 5 teams off, at the end of the season, still didn't get in. But that's another story for another day.
12-team playoff would have saved you.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because the one thing about us, that year, we ran the ball at people. Our defense was physical. We're talking about the Teddy Bridgewater, hit. We knocked out quite a few quarterbacks that year.
Yeah.
That was kind of our mentality on defense was, we're going to watch film on the backup quarterback because we need to be, prepared when he comes in the game.
Man, that is a...
John, I got a question for you, and I know that you would never actually target injuries in that aspect, especially on the record, but especially in college, unspoken kind of token of honor, hey, we knocked out 3 quarterbacks this year, we're a hard-hitting defense, people fear us. Does that feel good on the defensive side of the ball?
Absolutely. That was the mentality we carried with us.
Yeah.
And then we knocked out more than 3.
So you're selling me short.
I knocked out 2 in one game.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. They're going to have me playing quarterback. Take a listen to Teddy Bridgewater right quick with Ryan Clark talking about that exact hit.
I just felt tried, man. Like, you going to hit me like that? My mom in the stands, man. Like, yo, you got to see me. You got to feel me. Like, that was my mentality, man. I knew I had my brothers, man, from South Florida and just from all over who were on that team from Louisville who really looked up to me. And I knew I had people back home like, man, if you don't get up, bro, you got to holler at us when you come home. So it was one of them things where he hit me, and I just had a frown on my face like, yo, you just tried me, man. Like, you finna feel me tonight. And that was my mentality, man, just dominate, and we came away victorious.
So Louisville did get the win. What's your reaction hearing him talk about that moment, though?
He's still, to this day, and I say this all the time, he's the toughest quarterback I ever played against. Any quarterback that I've hit like that has not gotten up, you know? So just to be able to see a guy like that come back, get up, and drive the ball down the field all night, can't beat it.
Go in love, go in peace, go in joy.
Yes, sir.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission ticket on opening day of the fair, you can keep it and visit the fair another day courtesy of Publix. That's 2 days of fun for the price of one.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17 in West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything,